Recently, I had the honor to collaborate with my brother Lwandiso, and we hosted an interview with Dr. Hlulani Mdingi, who's from the University of Pretoria, who holds a PhD. He's a scholar and a Black liberation theologian, and also a Black consciousness activist. And we held an interview about the liberation movement, and this is how the interview went about.
I think for those who are really asking, okay, through the liberation movement, how did the church play a pivotal role within the liberation movement? What are one of those instances that we can say that was the church, and that was the church, where really people can point and hold the confidence that to say that within the freedom, the democracy, and the liberation that we have today, this is because the church has done. What could be those pivotal points or instances where truly the church played a pivotal role in the liberation movement?
It's quite intense, but I'll try and limit it to a specific period moving forward. Most of the so-called liberation movements, strange that all of them were formed by deeply religious people who were Christians. I think let's start from that premise. Secondly, I think Msuku Peko puts it very nicely. He says, it is common cause and common knowledge that when people say Africa for the Africans, they always make the assumption that that was a Pan-Africanist framework, when in fact it began in the church. Africa for Africans, African for humanity, and humanity for God. So already you have, at least on an ideological basis, that you have a particular church that does certain things. Let's speak for an example. I know maybe we might not all agree upon them. The AIC, the African Independent Churches. You have a sense where there's not really a clash of the African personality, but it's the gospel saying, I want to embody a context in which I am in. I'm not in Europe, I'm in Africa. And I do find the relevance of the African personality and the Christian God working together. So you have those few things. You have the likes of Abu Sobuke, when Sobuke makes that prayer to say, God, take me where I can, where I cannot go further, please you take through. And you do have a sense of that. So, but that's a little bit sketchy to a certain extent. But what is more important is that if you think in the 1960s, we had an organization that was known as the University Christian Movement. And it was around about that time where liberation theology was beginning to boom. In fact, it has always been credited that had it not been for the University Christian Movement, the Black Consciousness Movement would have not been what it was, because it was the University Christian Movement that gave the platform to say, let's do this. They exposed them to specific texts, particular readings, a view that is different hermeneutically and otherwise. Similar to that, you had a younger group of students also, that was the Student Christian Movement, which will also come there, CSC Mashinini comes there. So you had a vibrant, very strong Christian orientation that was there, that understood that something had to be done. In fact, there's a document, I think, that was produced in 1976, the Cairo Declaration. I forgot what the synod, what you call it, the term actually means in full. But
the term kairos is a Greek word that means the right or opportune moment or a crucial time. It is often used in a theological or philosophical context to refer to a significant or decisive moment in history or in a person's life when important choices or actions must be taken.
Unlike the Kairos document of the 1984, 1985, the Cairo Declaration was much more stronger. It used the biblical text as the base to condemn apartheid. And a very interesting thing, what happened is that the Student Christian Movement had a composition of both whites and black. And you had a situation where even their white counterparts, they agreed. They said, comrades, we are telling the truth. This is what the gospel demands of us. But even more importantly, you then had your liberation theology, which came in particular from that University Christian Movement, deeply to be articulated in this country by none other but the Black Consciousness Movement. You had the likes of Sabelo Ndwasa, you had Abo Itumeleng Musala, you had Abo Takazo Mofokeng, Alan Busak, and so forth. So at times they were trying to wake the church out of its sleep. Yes, there was resistance because we've never heard a minister like this. But you had a sense of, when BC articulated Black theology, Biko made something quite interesting in his analysis that, God is not in the habit of going up and down from heaven to earth to solve problems that have been created by other human beings.
And that is it from us. And catch the full video within one of our platforms. Everything will be added within the video, within the screen. And yeah, cheers.